Hey YouTube, we're back back with another video. Tonight's video is part 3 of cooking on a wood stove. Tonight we're going to cook flatbread, or hoe cakes as they're called in my family. For those of y'all that may not know, flatbread or hoe cakes, however you may call them, are a biscuit that isn't baked but fried instead. I think in last night's video I made it pretty clear that I'm not a fan of cooking on a wood stove and why I'm not a fan of it. But I may have forgot to mention in last night's video that cooking on a wood stove involves more than just getting a fire going. A person needs to get wood to cook on and process it into usable sizes. Having to do this every day would be one of those never-ending tasks, kind of like feeding farm animals, I guess. It would just be one of those things that one did every day and got no enjoyment or satisfaction out of it. They just did it because it was a necessary task that had to be done. If you've ever had to gather your own wood and process it using just a chainsaw and an axe, you'll know that gathering it becomes a monotonous task that you just do because you have to, not because you want to. I'll go ahead and cut the camera here while I clean the stove out and get the fire going. Then we'll move to the kitchen and get our batter made up while the stove and pan is warming up. Okay, stove's cleaned out, and I guess I'll let y'all see me get the fire going. The current time at the start of this video is 11:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the current temperature in the house right now as it stands is 65 degrees. So YouTube, let's go ahead and get us a fire going. And tonight I'm going to have the windows and doors open so it doesn't get so blazing hot in here. Because quite frankly, last night when I went to bed, I didn't really feel that well. I don't know if it's the remnants of COVID or what, or just because I got so overheated by that fire. That close to that fire for so long. But anyway, let's go ahead and get the fire going. And I'm going to leave the camera going so y'all can see this. Well, see how I get my fire going. Grab a handful of this here small starter wood. Stick it in there. Grab us a piece of this here. Down south here, we call this stuff fat lighter. We get it out of it's basically really sappy pine wood. We get it out of sometimes construction lumber that's guided in it. Most of the time we just get it out of old dead pine stumps. That's another thing. If you're gonna start your fire this way, you gotta go out and gather this stuff too. But anyway, that's if the lighter works, that's usually the easy part. See how quick and easy that lights, YouTube? Just poke it in there like that. We'll grab us some slightly larger sticks. Now we'll just put these in here. And that will get burning in a little bit of no time. Now we'll get us some larger wood going here. And I think I might have shut that door a little too fast to YouTube. Well, maybe I did. It's still burning. Closing the door with this type of wood stove sometimes can create a draw through here that it'll go sucking through there, and you can actually hear it kind of making something like a whistling sound or wind, you know, wind. You can hear the wind rushing in there. Which, yeah, I can hear it just a little bit, but when the fire really gets going, you'll really be able to hear it. And if that happens tonight, I'll bring y'all and the camera over a little closer so you can see it. I may cut the cameras a time or two in this video, but again, I'm going to try to show y'all as much as I can to give y'all an idea of what it really takes to cook on a wood stove. I don't want to do a video of cooking on a wood stove and make it look like you know, make it look all romantic and sweet and everything like they do, like some of the other YouTube videos do, and like they portray it in the movies. It it's just not how it really is, you know. And my channel's never posted a fantasy video, and I don't intend to start ever posting fantasy videos. My content is real, and that's the way I want it to be. Okay. I can actually hear that wind a little bit. I'm going to take y'all over there and see if y'all can hear it a little bit. Hold on, it's going to get a little shaky. I hope y'all can hear that. Okay, YouTube, let's go ahead and move over here to the kitchen and get our batter ready here. Okay. Shit. This tripod ain't the greatest one I've ever had. Okay. Gotta grab my measuring cup. I need my fork. Flour out, put my sieve away because I won't be needing that. Now this is 2 cups of flour, so you want to put one 2-cup container of flour, and you know you want to just put your flour away. Oh, we're done with that. put 1 full cup of water, and then have a second. I have a second full cup of water there to add water to that flour batter as I need it. I also use just the standard old 1-2-3 vegetable oil from Food Depot in my batter. It seems to help with sticking. You just pour as much of it or as little or as much of it in there as you want. Well, actually, don't put that away because we might need it again. And you just stir. See, right now the batter's at a consistency where you could probably make biscuits with it if you wanted to. But that's not what we're doing tonight. So, go ahead and pour us in a little bit more water and mix. I don't really have a set amount of water that I put in this, but it usually winds up to be about 2 cups of water. And you know, trying to do this on a wood stove may actually require less water. You know, for it to cook, because you know the wood stove don't seem to get quite as hot as the stove. See, the batter's getting a little bit better, but that's not quite, well, I don't want that to fall in there, but it's not quite right. And of course you're going to have little splashes that you'll have to clean up, which that's just part of cooking, I guess. I can't cook anything without making a mess. Now that's just, oh crap, I picked it up right out of the camera, YouTube. That is just about right. You want to be able to pour it onto your pan. Okay, so let's go here and wipe my hands off. Seems to have gotten a little bit splashed on me. Okay. Now we're gonna move back over to the stove, to the wood stove, and I'll get you set up over there. Then we'll bring the pan over and start getting it heated up. And I think I'll cut the camera for this. Okay, let's go ahead and open this door up so you can see how good the fire is going. You see, it's going pretty good now, so we should have plenty of good heat to cook with. I think we'll use use that black eye again. I need to put a little bit of oil on the pan. Now you probably don't want to put a whole lot of oil on this YouTube. I said this is cooking bread on a fire like this is a first for me. I've not ever done it. Okay, now we need to kind of let that just kind of. Oh, I'm gonna lay that on that plate right there. Now we still gotta let that pan heat up. I don't see anything coming off of it yet, so. I'm gonna guess that cooking on a wood stove like this, it probably takes a lot of practice to know when your pan's gotten hot enough to, start cooking on. Which, this is a first for me, so I don't exactly know. So if I mess this up, that's just my lack of it, my inexperience in cooking bread on a wood fire showing. I could see if I was gonna do this regularly, I would probably want to go ahead and have a cook table to set my stuff on. I don't know if that's hot enough yet. See if we can drizzle a little water on it to make it sizzle. Well, that's plenty hot enough. Oh yeah, we in good shape. Alrighty, I imagine I'm gonna make quite the mess here, so. You know what, I'm gonna grab another paper napkin. I need to grab my spatula. This spatula, it's been around the house for years. I can remember being a real small child and seeing this thing at the house. So I imagine this thing's every bit of 37, 38 years old. And it says stainless Taiwan on it, but it's been a good one. I can see it's going to take a long time to cook all this flatbread on that stove. Like, I think I may probably not cook it all on this stove. I may cook just a few pieces to give you an idea, just so you have an idea of how long it's gonna take. And I may just finish the rest of it on the regular stove. Well, it's certainly not golden brown like we seem to strive for these days, but it's certainly done. Just to give y'all an idea of how quickly the temperature's rising in here, even with the window open and my back door open. When we started this at, I believe 11:03 is what we said. My thermometer said 65 degrees in here, and it's already reached up to 70 degrees. Now, if we'd have had these doors closed, it would be pretty damn warm in here. In fact, just before I checked the thermometer, I went and turned the fan back on because I don't want to get overheated like I did last night and get feeling rough again. But they seem to be cooking fairly fast, which I guess I'm kind of glad of that. Oh yeah, YouTube. The temperature tonight is supposed to drop. I believe the weather said 35, which it's gonna hit 35 according to the weather about 6 o'clock in the morning, and then by 7 it's supposed to start going right back up. So right now it's not that cold outside. And if you're wondering why I've got that towel sitting on the floor and setting the pan down there, I don't have anything else to set the pan on that I would feel safe having that close to this heater. And the towel is there is because when you pour it, it runs down the side of the pan, and I don't want flour all in my carpet. So that's what that's for. I think I might have poured just a wee bit too much batter in that one. But it's cooking, and my knees are getting hot, hot, hot. Gonna have to wind up in the hospital. Gonna wind up in the hospital with 3rd-degree burns on my knees, YouTube. Boy, that'd be a good one to explain, wouldn't it? Shit. Well, we should have known I'd mess up at least one of them, YouTube. And that's fine if it gets messed up. It'll still be eaten. Pan's probably getting a little warm. Probably why that happened, or the fact that I just poured a little too much batter. Every time I cook flatbread, flatbread, YouTube, I always mess up at least one. That's just the way it is with me. And when I say I mess up at least one, I do generally mean even on the electric stove. I guess that's about as done as it's gonna get. It's probably time after this one. It's probably gonna be time to oil the pan again. And I can see that piece of batter that made it out on actually onto the top of the stove there is actually starting to burn. So, we'll have to keep an eye on that.